when I first started, I didn't really understand it like that, for real. And then I just had, realize I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing, watch my shit more, just like learn more about this business shit, cause that's like what it is. Like that's what this music shit is, business.
Before Lil Mosey would find himself smack dab in the middle of a piece of prime beef, accusing Lil Tecca of stealing his rhyme. Before Lil Mosey's newest hit song, Blueberry Faygo, would leak online, only to get taken down time and time again.
I mean, I'm not sure how it got leaked, but it got leaked, and then it was out for like a couple months, like just a leaked song. My label kept taking it down, but then people just kept putting it back up under random names and stuff. At first, I was like, damn, kind of fucking my shit up, but then once it started blowing up and it was trending albums and shit, I was like, all right, well, I mean, it's kind of a blessing because I wouldn't have known like it was gonna do what it did.
Before Lil Mosey's European tour would get shut down right in the middle due to COVID-19 concerns.
The energy's definitely more lit.
Europe's definitely more lit out there,
Yeah.
so because I think they just don't give a fuck.
By the way, that song, Blueberry Fuego, it's like my jam. Now, Lil Mosey, he is a hip-hop prodigy who first blew up on SoundCloud before quickly moving on to take over the rest of the internet as well. Now, he's been making music professionally since he was the age of 16, and while he may finally have reached the age of majority in the United States, well, my man is still mad young at only 18 years old. Now, in the span of only 2 years, he's come a long way from working with basic equipment and posting his tracks online to finding his audience and facing tragedy along the way. That's after losing his personal friend and mentor, Kari Cash.
Would you change anything so far? Anything that's happened?
Nah, I mean, besides my brother Kari, if I could bring him back, I would.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Michael McCrudden back at it again with an updated video on Lil Mosey. Now, this guy's so popular that this is actually the third time we're making this video. But you guys, you seem to enjoy the updates. Now, we got some new drops on the way, including a video on his buddy Bankroll Hayden, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to let us know who's next in the comments down below. You can reach me in the DMs. You can find me on text. All right, now let's get into this video. Hey, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom! Lil Mosey was born Lathan Moses Echols on January 25th, 2002 in Seattle, Washington. All right, hold up already. I mean, his middle name is actually Moses. Stage name alert.
Mosey. What do you prefer?
Mosey.
Mosey. All right, so tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got your name.
My name comes from Moses, my middle name. So that's how I got Mosey, but that's just what all the niggas was calling me, like, growing up and stuff.
God, that's fire.
Hey, it's simple, but it works. Now, Mosey, now he grew up in the north side of the city of Mount Lake Terrace, Washington, which has a population of just 21K. Now, he would spend the first few years of his life in that area before linking up with musicians from the south side of Seattle in 2016. Now, despite having spent a fair amount of time of his life in Seattle, well, he has something of a love-hate relationship going on with his hometown. Now, he once said about the place, "I'm really the only dude making it out here, but other than that, there's nothing going on in Seattle." Now, that was from an interview when Lil Mosey was still in the early stages of his come-up. Now, since then, it seems like his opinions on the city have eased up a bit. Now, he often takes time to pump Seattle up now when asked about it, and he sure loves the food scene there.
Red Onion Burgers, Seattle. What do you know about Red Onion Burgers?
How you know about that? Because that's in my town. That's actually like Malik Terrace, that's where I'm from, like the town. It's like north of Seattle.
Well, you were Lil Mosey. We have to know.
Oh God, but yeah, they that shit fires for the low too, like burgers for the low, slapping ass burgers.
What do you have? What does Lil Mosey have for burgers?
I put, just regular cheeseburger, but I put a fried egg on that bitch, then put some bacon on it. And that's a Lil Mosey burger.
He's also said things like this: "I'm trying to put on for my city. I'm trying to do what Drake did for Toronto. All he's got to do is hide a baby mama for about a year, and I'd say he's about 3/4 of the way there." Now, speaking of moms, Lil Mosey, he was raised primarily by his, and he shares some fond memories with her.
And so give me like your best memory, your favorite memory with your mom growing up.
Just going on like trips with her and stuff to like, cause I got like this little cabin thing that my grandpa had or some shit. But I used to go with her there and stuff, like just little vacation.
Now, he also grew up with 2 older brothers who were still a part of his life and his business.
What do they think about this career?
I mean, one of them comes on tour with me, another one has a baby right now, but like I'm good at like this is what we all wanted, so.
Mosey attended Mount Lake Terrace Elementary School and Mount Lake Terrace High School. Now, while in high school, he took part in sports, football in middle school, basketball in high school, and more.
Didn't know that.
I played football for like my whole life until I got into like middle school type shit.
But graduating high school, it wasn't meant to be for Lil Mosey. Once he started blowing up, well, he was itching to move on.
I told my mom, like, if this gets 30K in 3 days, I was like, I'm gonna give myself that. If it gets that, then I'm dropping out of school.
Wow.
And then it did that, but she didn't let me drop out of school.
Right.
But then, like, a couple weeks later, like, I was on winter break. Like, it was December. I was on winter break. And then my producer, Royce David, he was moving out here already with his manager and shit. So I was just like, my shit's at like 100, 200K right now. I'm just gonna do it. Convince my mom, like, yeah, I'm out of here. I can't.
So how did Lil Mosey start making music in the first place? Well, it was all thanks to his brother stealing his iPod. After that happened, Lil Mosey, he found himself wanting to be just like Meek. Even if he doesn't really sound like him at all, well, Mosey once said about his sound, "My sound is more like the new era, melodic rapping. It's hard to explain. You can maybe compare it to some others, like how it sounds, but not how good it is." Now, as you can see and hear from that quote, well, my man, he has mad confidence in himself and his abilities, because hey, if you became a world famous hip hop star by the age of 16, well, you would too. But not everyone was such a huge fan of Mosey right off the bat. This included his mother. Now, she wanted him to focus more on practical things like, I don't know, finishing school, and then, pursue rapping like a little later on in his life. But obviously, that's not what happened. So, yeah, well, let's just pour out one for mom's broken dreams. Now, like many artists of his generation, well, Lil Mosey, he got his start posting his tracks online to SoundCloud. Now, he recorded his verses on a simple homemade setup using GarageBand. Now, one of his songs, they started gaining some traction and he caught the eye of producer Royce David, and he started working professionally in a studio. One of the first singles he recorded as a more polished hit was Pull Up, and at the time of this recording, that song has over 31 million views on YouTube, more than any of the other tracks hosted on his own channel. Though Stuck in a Dream, well, it's moving up fast with 26 million views and counting at the time of this recording. In his earlier days working with Seattle Circuit, well, Mosey, he performed live every chance he could get. But bookers, they weren't exactly opening the doors to a 16-year-old, even though the kid could rap. So Mosey, well, he bet on himself and would actually pay money out of his own pocket to get some stage time. And needless to say, well, that investment, it paid off big time.
What would you say was the smartest investment you made in your life?
Definitely investing in myself. I just, I definitely knew I could do something, and I put in the time and effort to achieve what I wanted to achieve. And I'm still, trying to go crazy, trying to reach to the highest point.
Now, one of the first people to actually embrace Lil Mosey and his music was fellow musician Kari Cash. Now, Mosey, he once had this to say about his friend and his mentor. "My bro Kari Cash taught me a lot of stuff too. He's from Seattle. He told me a lot of stuff that he's seen and that other people have done. Things that I shouldn't." Now, if only Kari had been following his own advice, but we'll get into that in just a minute. Now, both of these dudes, they would spend a lot of time hanging out and performing with one another, and they were members of a band Kid. You can probably tell from that clip that band Kids is more or less a thing of the past, and that probably has a lot to do with what ultimately befell Kari Cash. Now, on May 6, 2018, Kari Cash passed away from what many people believe is a drug overdose. Now, Mosey, he has offered conflicting stories during interviews in terms of what exactly happened to his close friend. But the one thing that isn't confused about is what Kari meant to him.
Just trying to keep his name alive, trying to do what he wanted me to do. Definitely been, And I know he's up there smiling, so as long as I keep bro happy and we finish what he wanted us to do, he's gonna be good. I'm gonna see him soon.
Not too soon though. Just stay here with me for a long time.
I'm gonna be alright. I'm just saying, I'm gonna see him soon.
Despite the loss of his close personal friend Lil Mosey, well, he would push forward and continue making music. Now, after the success of Off-White on SoundCloud, he continued to put in the work. He built up his catalog of songs with So Bad, Too Paid, and Been On. Now, all of this effort, it culminated in his hit video for Pull Up that dropped on the website Elevator on December 7, 2017. But even at this point, well, Lil Mosey, he was still fighting tooth and nail to get the recognition he deserved. On how he got Elevator to host his video, well, he stated, "I just kept sending it to the website, the Twitter, the owner's Twitter, and then the owner, Brian. He's seen it in the messages, and he was just saying he wanted to drop it. See kids, perseverance, it can really pay off. Now after the success of Pull Up with Lil Mosey, he moved to LA in March of 2018, and he started making real bank for the first time. Now he has since embarked on multiple world tours, and he signed to Interscope Records.
Nah, yeah, I don't really give a fuck. I was like, fuck it, I feel like Interscope. Like, you know, I obviously read my contracts thoroughly, but like, I was just like, man, Interscope, that's like the biggest, you know, most fire labels. I was like, fuck it, we rich. I'm just gonna be rich forever. I don't really give a fuck.
He then released 2 albums, North Beats in 2018 and Certified Hitmakers in 2019, which peaked at number 12 on the US Billboard Top 200. Now he's also released videos for Noticed and Blueberry Faygo, and they've racked up more views on his YouTube channel than any of his other work. We're talking 182 million and 42 million views respectively. But for his next track, Lil Mosey, he's really got to start posting those on his own YouTube channel. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of views. And like, he's got 1.24 million subscribers, don't get me wrong, that's like really impressive. But putting those videos on your own channel, it's gonna make them numbers skyrocket. So get to it. That's just a little bit of advice. As for the rest of Lil Mosey's story, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, because this, of course, is Before They're Famous. Alright guys, my name's Michael McCredden, and every once in a while we'll give you guys an update on an artist that's trending that you guys just seem to care about so much. Now these young rappers, they really are the future, and there's so many of them, so it's good news for us because it's definitely keeping us in business. Let me know who's next in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in another video.